Good day or evening. I hope all is well with you. Welcome to Filling Your Soul, living with meaning and purpose through the wisdom of the Kabbala. It is my pleasure to have Rochel Faust as our guest speaker. Rochel has three distinct career paths: fashion, food, and psychology. Although they don't appear to be connected, she has woven a common thread and mission to serve each client with creativity, integrity, and a highly personal and individual style. Her philosophy of life is deeply rooted in the belief in the potential of change and the importance of identifying one's spiritual mission and goals in whatever they are doing. After a satisfying career as a psychotherapist, Rochel has transitioned professionally into a personal coaching practice called Passages. This name reflects Rochel's belief that no matter where one's life journey begins or ends, is what you create along the way that is important. An advocate for work-life balance, Rochel is happily pursuing her passions for painting, cooking, Tai Chi, and teaching. Welcome, Rochel.
Thank you so much, Leah. It is truly a pleasure and blessing to be with you today.
I'm so grateful to have you here, and thank you so much. So let's begin. In the Kabbalistic teachings, living a meaningful and purposeful life is a key concept. Can you please share your thoughts about living with meaning and purpose, and also your personal journey that has led you to its fulfillment?
I would be happy to, Leah. Kabbala is best understood as a tool for receiving wisdom, for healing and growth in everyday life. There is a teaching, and I like to see this in my mind as a picture or a painting, that we see ourselves as a well. The water in the well is the wisdom for healing and growth in our lives. It is the life force that is blown into us when we are born. But the well exists in a world that fills it up with dirt, stones, debris. Our purpose, metaphorically, is to clear out the schmutz, to clear out the dirt from the well, so that clean, clear water can be drawn up and used to nurture and grow what is good in the world. I like to think that the concept of living a life of meaning and purpose is it's a pretty lofty goal and idea. I think that we need to recognize that we were created in the divine image, and everything that we say and do must reflect that. This often means subjugating our physical desires and strengthening our capacity to embrace the opportunities that we're presented with to create positive change in the world. So this is how we obtain human fulfillment. When our intellect recognizes that man must strive for and achieve knowledge and attachment to God, this is the ultimate. Since I was a little girl, I felt a very deep connection with God. I think that there was a connection to that love that helped me feel a sense of confidence in a world that did not instill confidence in a young child or even a growing adult. I was always ready to say yes, Leah, to a new adventure, a new business, a new country to live in. I lived in the moment. Life was about pleasure and connecting with people and experiences. So I was hit with several major wake-up calls in my late 20s that forced me to examine how vulnerable my life was, and that I was really serving me and not my creator. So I'd like to share with you 4 principles that I learned in my life journey that brought me to where I am today. First of all, every sadness, every challenge, every tragedy is custom designed to mold one's character and faith. So everything is a teaching. When we're challenged, we're never to ask, why me? Instead, we should ask, what do you want from me in this moment? And I have found that this questioning of what do you want from me applies to any stressful situation, from an argument with a spouse to a delayed flight or wait at an airport, or even, as in my case, to a life-threatening illness. We should ask ourselves, is this situation distressing or dangerous? We should ask ourselves, do I want to be right or do I want to have a relationship? What is my lesson here in the classroom of life? I think that it's very important in any moment to really seek to understand what is going on. Now, when you don't know what to do, I really feel it's very important to seek the wisdom of others. Now, this requires humility to admit that we're powerless, but from humility grows power. So if you're living with chaotic and controlling people or toxic situations, for example, I believe get yourself to a 12-step meeting or get yourself to a support group. If you need wisdom and guidance, get yourself to a good therapist or a seasoned spiritual leader who has expertise and knowledge about the situation that you are facing. I've been very truly blessed in my life to have great mentors who have become my guides, my inspiration for moving forward in the right direction. The last principle is that you should take responsibility for yourself and your actions. The Baal Shem Tov, who was the founder of the Hasidic movement, taught that divine creative energy is constantly pulsing throughout creation. So connecting to that divine energy will guide you. As an artist, I love the saying that a painting is not an object, it's a journey. So those are really my thoughts on my own personal journey and seeking meaning and purpose in them.
Thank you so much for sharing your personal experience and your take on what is meaningful and purposeful for people, because it really makes a difference to know that you can go out and seek help from wise people who can assist you, and you have to have the humility and the vulnerability to admit that all of us don't have control over things and that we do need assistance. And so you've broken it down to steps that seem to be manageable. I just wondering, because I know you're a seasoned therapist and now you're a coach, if what you could advise for people who are having a real tragedy. It takes a while for them to stop and think about that. They have to look inward and see what's going on and what they're supposed to do and how they connect to God when they're in so much pain. Any words of wisdom on that?
I think that it's a very profound question, and there are no clear, easy answers. But I think that taking a first step is really the most important thing. And the first step is to admit that one is feeling overpowered by a situation. It's very much a tenet of the 12-step program to admit that you are powerless over a situation. So once you've admitted it, it's almost like a heavy burden has been lifted, because when you admit that you are powerless, then the next step really is to turn to a higher place, a higher person for assistance. So again, it's that first step is to allow yourself to feel the vulnerability so that the warmth and the healing power of where you go next can really be effective.
That sounds like great advice, because you're talking about kind of shattering the ego and not thinking about pride and people respecting you and honoring you and all that, but just being a human being and getting in touch with your humility.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rochel. Okay, so what tips can you offer to listeners that can teach and inspire them to connect to their passion and live their dreams?
So, again, I'm going to answer your question with a question. And what does it mean to connect to one's passion and dreams?
You're asking me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I guess we'd have to define what passion is, but people have some kind of a yearning for something that they really love. Just like it looks like you love fashion and food and helping people with their problems, their issues, or helping to move forward. People have something that they feel a deep connection to that makes them happy, that they love, that nurtures them. Does that make sense?
That makes sense,
and
yes.
They want to pursue in life, and that makes life so interesting and so valuable. Not that life isn't valuable in so many other arenas of life. but in terms of relationships and all that. So I guess that a person could connect to something that they really, meditate on what is calling them, what is missing. Is there something missing in their life? And if there is something missing, what is it that they love to do that can fill that? What is the solution to that something missing? And then be able to go ahead and move forward to manifest their dreams, hopefully, God will, with the help of God, by setting goals and actually taking action.
So what I have to offer to your listeners is that my belief is that you need to examine your existence from a very macro perspective. You have to step back out of your own daily existence and your own view on yourself. Step back and look and say to yourself, how am I using my talents, my gifts, my dreams to connect to my true purpose here on earth? So for that, you really have to, again, look at why are you here? Why do you believe you're here? Am I here only to create a nice, happy life where I feel good and positive all of the time? I think that stepping back and doing an honest inventory of who you are and what you are is truly important. Our souls were sent down to earth to create change and to build connection with the Creator. That's why we're here. So wherever your passion lies, you should use it to serve with joy and don't waste opportunities to create. So it's interesting that in my career as a therapist and coach, I've worked with many individuals who simply couldn't identify a passion or a dream. And I think that part of the problem is that these words, Leah, sometimes imply, glamour, external success, creating beauty, achievement, visceral excitement. Instead, I think we should think about legacy and what would we want to be remembered for. I think that this is really a vital key. And then make an inventory of our gifts, of our talents, and what feels important in our hearts. If you feel it in your heart, then your head will provide the answer. So I don't mean to suggest to anyone that this is an easy process, but it's a journey. And there are many tools available to help people, as you well know. You mentioned, I think meditation is really an excellent tool for people to go inside themselves. Expressive art therapies, guided imagery, journaling, any of this where we start to get the left brain and the right brain, the soul and the heart to dance together. That's where the answers lie.
So what you're saying is that people have to connect to what they love and then also connect it to what their purpose is, what is meaningful to them in their lives, to create a mission for them so that they can serve and make a contribution to the world and to be of service.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's beautiful. All right, so thank you. You're very insightful, and I appreciate all of your valuable information. We all do, I'm sure. Okay, how can we all remain positive, Rochel, and continue to move forward in the face of personal inner and outer challenges that are part of the human condition?
So again, I think we need to see that inner and outer challenges in life are to be expected. We weren't sent here to have a perfect life. Yes, some of these challenges can be pretty devastating. I think all of your listeners can identify with events in their lives that have been life-changing and totally devastating. I believe that most of us are not capable of staying positive all of the time. And that's okay, because there are moments when we're not going to be positive and we are not moving forward. I guess the expression usually is that we're stuck. But stuck is a state of value also, because every trial, every discomfort, every questioning of self, why am I stuck? Why am I not going anywhere? Why am I not feeling fulfillment? Why am I not feeling positive at this very moment? As long as we keep asking the questions, then the trials have potential for us hidden within. And Kabbala talks so much about the hidden. Not everything is obvious. In fact, most of very valuable things are hidden. It's just like in the well. When you walk up to a well and you look into it, oftentimes you cannot see the water because if it's a very deep well, all you see is darkness. So it's really about using every trial. And when I look back at the two most challenging passages of my life, I am really grateful because I know now that I can face anything that life sends my way. And I will not only survive, but I will thrive.
I'm glad I'm hoping that you're feeling better. You said you had a difficult time with your health, and I'm hoping that you're healthy and growing healthy every day.
Well, 30 years of good health, inner and outward. Thank you for your good wishes. But yes, today I'm definitely thriving. And I think that, as I said before, we're all survivors of something. And so to see yourself as a thriver as well as a survivor. The famous Viktor Frankl wrote in his milestone book, Man's Search for Meaning, that an individual's search for meaning is successful. If it's successful, it not only renders him happy, but it also gives him the capacity to cope with suffering. So I would say that attaching yourself to God is the conduit to meaning, and the product of that attachment is positivity and joy.
That's beautiful. So you're saying that is the key thing, that if you connect to God and you have faith that God is having us have these experiences for a reason that is beneficial to us, and just being able to let go and surrender to that, it gives us some joy and a connection to God, which gives us more joy.
Absolutely. Very well expressed.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really greatly appreciate your participation today, and I just wondered if you have any last thoughts that you can leave with us.
So I definitely want to express my gratitude for this very unique opportunity to share my thoughts and experiences with you and your listeners, and to leave you with the thought that let's all work on nurturing our ability to constantly recognize and feel gratitude every day of our lives, and to connect with the power of purpose.
Well, that's exactly what we're looking for in this podcast, of looking for purpose and meaning. So thank you. Is there a way that people can get in touch with you, Rochel?
So definitely, they can reach me directly at, my phone number is 856-906-8043, or my email is at cindyfaust@juno.com.
Cindy, CINDYFAUST.
Yes.
At
JUNO.com.
Thank you again, not only for being on this podcast this evening, just nice to have you as a friend. I met you not too long ago, and I feel I'm blessed to have met you, and I really appreciate you being here again. And I wish you, blessings and success with everything, and good health and happiness.
Amen. And thank you so much, Leah. I can feel your smile coming across the telephone lines. It's very warm and embracing, and it's really a pleasure to connect with you in this way. Thank you so much.
And all the best to you.
Thank you.
If you would like information on other topics, I welcome you to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And for my free gift, go to livingwithmeaningandpurpose.com/gift. God willing, until we meet again, wishing you health, happiness, success, and blessings.